How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to read the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Australia finance regulator opens target review into Binance. Australia's financial regulator will carry out a targeted review into Binance's derivatives business in the country after the company revealed it has classed some users incorrectly, according to Australia. On Thursday, Binance tweeted that it had liquidated the positions of 500 of its users in Australia after identifying an error in how the accounts were labeled. Our team identified a small number of Australian users who were incorrectly classed as wholesale investors on Binance. As per Australian regulations, we were required to inform these investors to close any of their own derivative positions with immediate effect. That was a tweet from Binance. Under Australian law, a wholesale investor is someone who has more experience trading and potentially more funds to do so. If they do not meet the criteria to be a wholesale client, they are classified as retail traders who are not allowed to trade derivatives. The Australian Securities and Investments Commission's ASIC extended a ban on the sale of binary option derivatives to retail investors last year, citing high rates of losses among those traders. ASIC is aware of Binance's social media posts overnight stating that it had incorrectly classed a group of Australian consumers as wholesale investors, an ASIC spokesperson said in a statement emailed to Decrypt. It has not yet reported these matters to the ASIC in accordance with its obligations under its Australian Financial Services License. We are conducting a targeted review on Binance Australia Derivatives Financial Services business in Australia, including its classification of retail clients and wholesale clients, the spokesperson said. After discovering that the users had been mislabeled, Binance said it informed the 500 users affected and closed their positions with immediate effect. The company will also compensate them for any losses incurred while trading derivatives on Binance. So, I would imagine that'd be up to the user, and that should be the user's error, not on the exchange, but I think they're just grasping at whatever they can go for exchanges right now. EA founder Trip Hawkins is now making NFT games. So, I'll admit, when I first saw this article, I was like, oh great, EA. In the gaming community, they just love to monetize everything. However, Trip Hawkins left EA in like the early 2000s, so he isn't really a part of their recent monetization history. The crypto world has attracted a number of video game industry legends, including famed developers like Will Wright and Peter Molyneux, that are now developing NFT-based games, and now there's another big name on that list, Trip Hawkins, the original founder and CEO of video game giant Electronic Arts, or EA. Hawkins was announced today as a co-founder and chief strategy officer to Games for a Living, a startup that is developing games based around NFTs and blockchain-based tokens. I'm confident that blockchain combined with our vision can create a new gaming paradigm for the benefit of all, Hawkins said in a press announcement. We plan to do it in a way that helps enhance game performance and value for players, while keeping things fun. Games for a Living's first release, Elemental Raiders, is available now on Steam. Wow. In a traditional free-to-play version without tokenized elements, although the publisher has previously launched promotional Ethereum NFTs tied to the game and will release an NFT Battle Pass in March along with its own GFAL token. Right down here it says that the Steam version doesn't allow you to join their tournament that's coming up. That tournament is tied to that battle pass that would give you those NFTs. So if you want to take part in that and you're interested in this project, I can show you where to go in a minute. GFAL token will be minted on BNB chain along with most in-game NFTs. However, some NFTs will be minted on Ethereum, such as the aforementioned Battle Pass, but it'll later convert into an NFT on BNB chain through the company's user portal. The publisher's white paper explains it'll eventually use its own private blockchain for games rather than an open permissionless network like Ethereum or Solana. Games for a Living says that it will establish a foundation to oversee the blockchain network and that the rules for other developers who can deploy their own NFT-driven games on the network. However, private or permission blockchains are seen by many crypto builders as anti-ethical to the Web3 ethos, as they are not open and permissionless networks and that anyone can freely build on. In some cases, networks created by a centralized company can be progressively decentralized over time and turned over to the community, but the publisher's white paper hasn't explicitly stated those intentions. So, what that means is they plan on going to their own private chain that you may not be able to trade or anything, or you'd only be able to trade within their ecosystem and withdraw on and off within their ecosystem, which is seen as a bad thing because you're locked into one ecosystem. If it goes down, you lose everything that you had on there. So that's why, and it also doesn't allow people to just build. You need more permission from their DAO, they would say, so we'll have to see what happens. So this is their website for Elemental Raiders. If we hover over here, you can see down in the bottom left that the website is elementalraiders.gamesforaliving.com. So if you want to be able to join the tournament, you're going to have to click play now. That'll prompt you to get a download link, and then you'll be able to start playing the first 5 tutorial matches. I didn't get through them all. I got through a few before I started this video. So back to the news. Ripple vs. SEC government watchdog supports motion to unseal Hinman docs. Forbes journalist Dr. Rosalind Layton is receiving support for her motion to intervene in the lawsuit between Ripple Labs and the SEC, seeking public access to the Hinman speech documents. Empower Oversight Whistleblowers and Research has expressed its support for the motion. Empower is a non-profit, nonpartisan organization that works to improve independent oversight of government and corporate misconduct. Its mission is to help insiders document and report corruption to the appropriate authorities. Via Twitter, the government watchdog wrote that the founder and president, Jason Foster's organization, supports the motion to unseal the Hinman documents related to the SEC conflicts of interest in cryptocurrencies. In a press release, Foster stated that public derivative answers from the SEC about what exactly the agency knew about Hinman's speech and when they knew it. For those of you that don't know what these docs are, just stay tuned. This statement goes on to say that Empower has been ignored by the U.S. agency since August 2021. At that time, the government watchdog made a request which is still the subject of an ongoing Freedom Information Act lawsuit against the SEC. Last October, Empower Oversight filed its opposition to the SEC's motion for summary judgment in the FOIA lawsuit over documents released to the conflicts of interest and selective enforcement in cryptocurrency cases. In December, the organization also filed the records request with the SEC seeking full records and communications with a list of names. The case will serve as a legal referendum on the SEC's entire ecosystem of regulation by enforcement for the industry. This is where that ties in, which is why the public has a legitimate interest in the Hinman docs. In a new development in Dr. Lane's motion to intervene, pro-XRP attorney James Filan announced in a tweet on February 22nd that an amendment motion to intervene had been filed. Dr. Layton's original motion suggested that the SEC had offered the Hinman speech documents in support of its own summary judgment motion, which was not the case. To that extent, the motion had to be amended on formal grounds to preserve the chance of being granted by a U.S. Southern District Court of New York judge. So we'll have to see if these documents do get released through this process. So onto the charts. Our 2 hour looks a little choppy after we just fell down. Good news is our range is still intact, as we did not break this purple range. This purple range is the bottom from our last range. We are currently just retesting a previous range, which I could make a box for that later. I'm not sure where that tool is currently. Rectangle. Come on, click. Drag this over. And it's not gonna let me edit it now that I want to edit it. But I would want to change it a different color. That way we can kind of see the difference. So this blue box is our previous range. You can see that the bottom of our value area low was the top of this range, and where we bounced off of was the bottom of our range. So we have come down to retest this range. If we do not break this range, that would be a bullish sign. As you can see, when we came back here, we came down, random line. Let's see, where was it? So when we had this run up, previously, that first run up, we came back down and retested the previous range, and then we came back up. We only hit the highs of the previous range, but we did take like this big move we had, we pretty much ate it all up. You can see we had a big move and we ate it all up again. So if this does repeat, we could get a little bit of consolidation here for a few days, and then possibly the start of another run up that could take us beyond that 25k that we were getting resistance at. Over on the 2 hour here, we have a double green dot that did finally confirm. I was watching this over the last few hours as we were dropping, waiting for some sort of confirmation. This isn't an exact confirmation. Our VWAP crossed. If you look, it's starting to somewhat curl, so that would be concerning if it does curl. We would want to see, this candle is a hammer candle, so that is a bullish sign. It could indicate that there is a reversal incoming, and that we could have an uptrend kind of like here. That's a little smaller of a hammer. This is a little bit bigger of a hammer, but still a hammer. Our money flow, you want to watch that come up. If that money flow starts to curl and continues downward tonight, then we may not get a run up tomorrow. And if we don't start to run up tomorrow, we may be in danger of retesting this purple box. If we break this purple box, I would be concerned about us being in any kind of bull market. If we take a look how the daily looks, we are getting a manipulation X. However, manipulation X's don't always mean you're going to just die. However, they can be a big drop, as you saw one here. So we'll really want to see the next couple of candles, what happens from here. If we get rid of this volume profile we had there, let's see, we are above this bigger volume profile. This is a high value area for where we had our previous range. If we break this and start coming back in, it would be likely we would come back down to the point of control, which is this blue line right in here. That'd be around that 19k level. And then if we broke that, we would see this 18.6 level. So that'd be for this bigger volume profile. Considering how long it's going, it could take a few days. However, sometimes you do get big candles that can play out. So I want to get that volume profile back real quick. And now we'll take a look how the 4 hour looks to kind of get the picture of the medium time frame. Stochastic got beat down pretty bad. It looks like it wants to make a bullish cross. Money flow didn't come bearish on the 4 hour. However, it is still coming down. It is trying to currently head up. VWAP is currently trying to head up. So shorter term on our shorter term with this VWAP is trying to cross up. So if that does manage to happen, maybe that green dot can transfer onto this wave. And then that'd be a bullish sign for us to continue upwards. If we look over at the 15-minute, we are getting bullish divergences here. We got one here that didn't play out, and then another one showed up, and we are getting a reversal indicator. So this reversal, we did go up and kind of flat. That could indicate that we could come down. However, it could also be indicating that this bigger downtrend with this manipulation that we had here and here is over, and we're due for a correction. So again, you want to watch the money flow start to come up. Hopefully this VWAP can curl away from the neutral zone or peak in and then come back up, and we'd want to watch this our momentum wave start to increase rather than start to taper off. RSI is continuing upwards, so that is a decent trend. So RSI is going upwards while price is kind of staying flat. That's somewhat of a bullish divergence too. Stochastic's kind of doing the same. So we'll have to kind of see if these divergences can gain a weight. Let's take a look over at graph here, over at the daily. We're pretty much right at the bottom of this ascending triangle. I could drag it a little further, connect this. We'll kind of have to see how we play to see if this would really be an intact pattern or not. There's not too many candle bodies going up here currently. Money flow is kind of flat, so unlike Bitcoin, it's kind of just hanging in there even though we're losing. We got manipulation X yesterday, or today, so that is a bearish sign. We do have a spinning top candle. Those are kind of indecisive candles as buyers tried to go up, sellers tried to go down, but we didn't really gain much ground either way. There was a little bit of selling pressure, but VWAP is coming down, so medium term is looking bearish. Stochastic's pretty beat down and just dragging against the oversold area, and our RSI is starting to just inch its way down. If we look over at the 4 hour, Stochastic's starting to just dive down. RSI is kind of choppy, going up and down, just staying in a range really. Our momentum wave is putting in a bullish divergence here as price came down, and our momentum wave is coming up. So watch for the next few candles. If that does print a green dot, that would give us that green line to confirm that divergence. So we could make a bounce off here and start to head up. You can see if you lose the range, it's not always the end of the world. Over on the 2 hour, we're getting that green dot that could print on this next candle. So you'll want to watch the next candle close. It'll probably be about an hour or so after this video. So about an hour after you watch this. Stochastic's starting to head up. RSI is trying to head up, but it's kind of flat after diving. So we'll want to see if this Stochastic can keep going up to give the RSI the strength to head up, and then that would help this divergence. Not sure if we don't. Very minimal divergence would be here on the 2 hour, but that 4 hour, if the momentum wave doesn't come down, that'd be a more significant divergence. So over on XRP, we have a red X for yesterday's candle. That's bringing us close to coming back down into the shoulder. We have a red dot from the previous days that brought our money flow down. Our VWAP's coming down, somewhat starting to curl, so we could get somewhat of a bounce off here if that curl does happen. Momentum wave came down pretty sharply, however it looks like it wants to curl off already. So we'll have to see if these rollovers do happen and signal some upside. Over at the 4 hour, Stochastic's coming down, pretty beat up. RSI is heading down, but we're getting a green dot that could signal some movement up. We'll have to see if that can play out or not. Our VWAP is trying to come up, so medium term we're trying to come up. That is a little bit of a bullish sign. We did lose this triangle if you haven't noticed already, and we came halfway down to its breakout again. I want to move this, not the chart. Our momentum wave, we're getting a green dot here on the 2 hour that did confirm on our last candle. However, if we manage to get a red candle that drags us down, we could get a red dot that invalidates like that. So you don't always want to just jump in just because there's a green dot. Money flow's kind of weak. It did reject dipping down 2 times, so that is a little bullish. However, we'll want to see it start to pick up some strength. Otherwise, the bears might just claw in and drag it down. Momentum's looking a little weak, or VWAP, sorry, is looking a little weak, so we'll want to see that pick up as well. And finally, last but not least, if we look at algo here, we got another manipulation X that showed up. Not gonna talk about that since we said like 3 of them tonight. Money flow's generally coming up still. We did get a little bit of taper off over the last couple days. VWAP is still coming down. It looks like it could start to flatten out. That would be a bullish sign, as we're going to want that to start to curl up so the medium term can start to pick up. But our overall trend is still bearish with this, or bullish, sorry, with this money flow being green. Momentum wave is trying to come down, so if that does break this neutral zone and head down here, that would be a bearish sign. However, if we just peak and then come back up, that may give the enough momentum to help pull the VWAP up. Over on the 4 hour, you can see that VWAP tried to come up twice, or working on it second time. It rejected that first time, came down even more sharply, so hopefully we can break up here. Our momentum wave is trying to head up, so that is a little bit of a bullish sign. We don't have a divergence here like we do on some of the other coins. Yeah, we'll go on the 2 hour. 2 hour, we have a green dot here. That is a little bit bullish sign, following kind of what the other coins are doing, at least on the 2 hour. Money flow is in the red, so we are a little bearish on that money flow as it's still coming out. But we'll want, it could head up as it's not taking like a dive bomb, like a big sharp turn like back here. VWAP is heading up, so the medium term is a little bullish. So that medium term might be able to help that longer term money flow pick up. Stochastic is pointing up, so that could become a bullish sign. And our RSI did break that 30. However, it looks like it's about to try and bounce off of it after peaking above it. So we did break some bearish levels. However, it looks like we could get some reversals looking at how these coins are looking. If we don't break this range, that'd be a very bullish sign, and like I said, we could look at newer highs if we do manage to bounce off of these levels. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.